Here's the latest in my fairy tale debunking campaign, kiddies. This is the real scoop, the true facts behind the nauseating nonsense that you've read as Hansel and Gretel. You see, actually, the woodcutter and his wife and 2 kids weren't so bad off. They weren't so poor that they couldn't buy food, like in the versions you've read. In fact, the old man was doing all right. What with the housing boom and the GIs back from the Crusades, the real trouble was, good lord, wifey, them kids, they're eating again. That's all they do is eat, 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 eat. You'll have to increase my allowance. I just can't manage with them eating like that. Chomp, 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 chomp. Stop with the increase my allowance routine. I'm handing over my whole pay bag now. Why, I still owe a few ducats on my new axe. Every time the collector comes, I got a ducat. And there's an installment due on the new wash tub. Oh, what will we do? Chomp, chomp. Wear dirty clothes. Chomp, chomp. You shut up and eat. No, don't eat. Talk. Don't eat. Talk. Say something. Hansel, our parents seem to be in disagreement as to chomp, what our behavior should be. Crazy mixed up parents. Get the picture, kiddies? Actually, these 2 brats are eating their folks out of house and home. So one night, we gotta get rid of them. We just gotta. That's all. Supper tonight was the last straw. The last straw. The last straw? So, I haven't had a good steak in years. All the time they eat steak, I eat straw. Now, no more straw even. Now don't get excited. I got a suggestion. What say I take 'em out into the woods and ditch 'em? We'd be rid of 'em. We'd eat again. Real food. Meat. Vegetables. Yogurt. Husband dear, how could you? You shock me. We'll do it. Maybe a tree'll fall on them, or a wild beast. On the other side of the flimsy wall of their prefab woodcutter's cabin, Hansel and Gretel listened. Chomp, chomp. Do you hear that? They're gonna ditch us, Hans. Don't get dyspepsia, sis. I'll think of something. Pass me the ketchup. Later, when everyone was asleep, Hansel tiptoed outside and gathered up some white pebbles. I'm no fool. I passed my junior forester's merit badge test. I'm clever. I'm hungry. And so the next day, when the woodcutter led the children into the forest, Hansel was ready. Come, kiddies, follow me. We'll go deep into the woods. We'll have a picnic, we will. Notice, sister, as we proceed into the thick forest, I keep dropping pebbles. Finally, deep in the forest, the woodcutter turned. Well, this is it. The finish. The payoff. You 2 are through. Done. Washed up. It's the end of the line. Father's been reading Mickey Splenny. Chomp chomp. Me too. Va-va-voom. And then, without a word, the woodcutter dashed off, leaving his 2 children stranded. Is he gone? Chomp. He's chomp. Real gone. Later that night, when the moon came up and the shiny pebbles that Hansel had dropped glittered like newly minted subway tokens, the children retraced their steps. We're almost home, Hansel. Yes, I can hear the wild cheering and hysterical laughing. The woodcutter and his wife had just sat down to their first square meal in years when the door to their tiny cottage swung open. Yum yum, steak. And mashed potatoes. And, surprise! Oh no! Food. We're starved. Pass the ketchup. That night the woodcutter and his wife plotted. We've got to try it again, wifey. And this time we've got to do the job right. Okay. Now pass me that bone. It's my turn to gnaw on it. And so, the next morning, the woodcutter again led his darlings into the woods. Today we will observe the habits and habitats of the yellow-bellied sapsucker, a bird of the woodpecker family, noted for its distinct plumage. Cut the corn, Pop. Give us the Mickey Splaney routine, and let's get it over with. Yeah, we're hungry. The woodcutter turned. The string's run out. Your time is up. Say your prayers. Go already. Yeah, we're hungry. The woodcutter dashed off, leaving the two children deep in the forest. Heh, thought I'd say thick, eh? Come, Hansel, share my crust of bread since you have torn up yours into tiny crumbs to leave a trail for us to follow back home. Who did? You think I'm a fool? I passed my bird study merit badge test. Why let the birds eat it? Chomp chomp. And so, Hansel and Gretel were really lost this time. But do you think they cared? Do you think they're worried? You're darn right they did. After all, in a few hours, they got, you guessed it, hungry. I'm starved, Hansel. Me too. I could eat a horse. Look, it stood before them in a clearing, the tiny cottage. Gretel ran towards it, slobbering. Gretel, come back. Don't, stop. I said horse, not house. Chomp chomp. Tooey. You see, kiddies, you see how the truth can be distorted. This wasn't any candy house like in the versions you've read. It was a good substantial brick, fieldstone, and clapboard cottage, with 4 rooms and 1.5 baths, 60 by 100, 2,000 down, balance at 5%. 20 years, deals for GIs. Only 'cause Hansel said he could eat a horse. Gretel misunderstood him. See? Huh? See? Huh? So, naturally the old pensioned widow who lived there asked, nibbling, like a mouse who sat nibbling at my house. Shut up, you old bat. I'm not kidding. She was no witch. Listen, I ought to know a witch when I see one. This old lady was a sweet old little thing. My land, children, are you hungry? Come inside. Gangway. One side, you old bag. The little old lady, kind-hearted soul that she was, listened to Hansel and Gretel's story. And since Mama and Papa, chomp, couldn't afford to buy us food, they left us in the woods to die, chomp, because they couldn't bear to see us suffer. Chomp. Sad, ain't it? Sob, sob. Oh, yes. And fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You two little darlings can stay here. I'll feed you, I'll take care of you, I'll buy you pretty clothes, toys, candy, sodas, malted. Hansel, this old bat must be loaded. Just shut up and play along. The little old lady begged the brats to stay with her. Please say yes. I've been so lonely since my husband died last year and left me with all this useless wealth. Showed them her jewels, her gold. Useless, I say, because what good is money if it can't buy happiness? It can buy meat. Can it, sis? Not canned meat, Hans. Nice, thick, fresh. Knock it off. Listen. And it will make me so happy if you'll allow me to spend all this on you two. Grandma, you got a deal. Yeah, we accept. Oh, you've made me so happy. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. Why not bake one now, Grandma? I will. You stay here, and I'll go get the firewood. Stay right here now. We're not budging, Granny. No, we're settin', but deaf. But as soon as the little old lady was gone, Hansel and Gretel rushed to her treasure chest. Man, dig this cool ice. All we do is get rid of the old bag, and it's all ours. Now here's the plan. So you see, kiddies, this little old lady wasn't getting ready to roast the brats alive. All she was doing was getting the fire started in the oven to bake a cake in celebration of Hansel and Gretel's coming to live with her. There we are, a nice roaring fire. Now! When Hansel and Gretel pushed her in, and listened to her burn to a crisp. She gone yet? Oh, real? Gone. Then they took all of the poor old lady's jewels, some haul, think of the food this will buy, and went home to their loving father and mother's cabin and told them the fantastic story that you've believed. And that's it. To save ourselves from being roasted alive, we pushed her into the oven, and then we found these. Good Lord, jewels, gold. Welcome home, darlings. Believed up to now, that is. Now, of course, you know the true story of Hansel and Gretel. Grim, eh? Well, that's the name of this department. Next time, I'll tell you, let's just wait and see what my idiot editors dream up. Now, I'll turn you over to the crypt keeper, who will wind up my reek rag with a tale from his crypt of horror. Bye now. And as the BOP construction man said when he found the goat in the cement machine, dig that crazy mixed up kid.